Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. My name is James David, and in today's video, I would like to talk about this butterfly attracting plant, the ones that you can grow easily in the tropical region. And basically, you don't really have to give any care is needed upon this particular plant because this is quite a prolific bloomer and actually attracts loads of bees and butterflies. Commonly known as golden dewdrop due to the fruits appearing to be a cascading features, and these are also very much cultivated for ornamental purpose. Botanically, these are known as Duranta erecta, where it's very much cultivated for the beautiful bluish violet flowers. I must say it's a little bit of a pity where the camera does not do proper justice where the flower colorization is concerned. Here the pigmentation is quite brilliant and actually very visible. Coming to the features of this particular flower, these are actually one-day bloomers where the flowers do tend to wither away in a day, but there are many flower buds and these actually bloom on a daily sequence. And I've noticed that this is constantly blooming and they have not failed to stop flowering. As I mentioned earlier that these do attract butterflies and bees, here I've managed to capture this particular butterfly commonly known as a common bluebottle. This particular butterfly, what I can say here is a rare occurrence which I've not really seen them very often in my garden. However, one of the things that I've noticed here is that though this is a common tropical butterfly, it does appears to be very beautiful, and here I managed to capture it, and I would like to showcase this particular butterfly with the bloom here in this particular video. Just a little bit about this particular butterfly commonly known as common bluebottle. These caterpillars are actually found in a host plant, especially known as a wild cinnamon tree. And to make sense of it, what I realized that these wild cinnamon trees are actually planted as a ornamental plant along the roadside around my region. Hence, I believe this is where the caterpillars would have came from, and hence these butterflies are actually being the pollinators around my garden. I can say that particularly this type of butterflies, their lifespan is actually very short, most likely about 3 weeks to a month. Hence, most butterflies, their lifespan is about a month or few months. And of course, this is why in a tropical region, care is needed to be given properly to cultivate and care for wildlife and nature beings, because a slight imbalance can actually throw them off course and these creatures can become extinct. Now, coming back to Duranta, there are a few varieties of Durantas available around my region in the tropical. Mostly they are actually cultivated for ornamental purpose. In here, what I'm actually growing is the type that is very much cultivated for the blooms. And so they do not have a particular stature where these appear to be more like one singular plant. Is actually more like a shrub, and so therefore they will just grow tall and they will constantly in blooms. There are other types of varieties. This particular kind, there is one which is purely white known as Alba, and there's another one which is very much on a blue tones. So this is a more on a darker version of a blue. This is more on a bluish violet tones, so you can't really see it here in the camera. But however, these are the only 3 available varieties that is sold as ornamental plants. There is another particular variety that is sold as which is actually used as hedging, more like a border plant. It may not have very strong prolific blooms. The flowers may be very insignificant, but however they do have a very nice foliage features where it is often will be trimmed and cut and made into more like a hedges and border plants, more on that context. And I've actually seen those in that kind of variety where it's also in a variegated colored leaves. Apart from this, I have find that this particular plant, Duranta, do not have actually any pest on them. They are quite durable, and if you notice these pendant-like flowers, it seems to be that they are actually a carefree plant. I even do not actually fertilize them. I'll just leave them open to sun and rain. So in a way, I've noticed that they do not have pests and very easy to care for, very hardy and durable plant. One of the factors that I do often is that I constantly prune them to keep them in check and balance, because I find that they can appear to be a little bit more messy looking, very leggy. So controlling them and cutting them and keeping them in shape somehow makes them bloom much more better. We can see they are actually branching out everywhere. Another factor here is that you can actually use these prune branches for propagation. Just poke them in the soil and they will just pop up with roots, and they are a stable plant and a separate plant to be cultivated as an extra plant. But however, they are a woody plant, and so it's more like a shrub, like a small miniature tree type of plant. So do take note that they can be a little bit bushy and messy looking. Anyway, I have come to the end of my video. If you have any questions, do put them in the comment below, and I'll try my best as my ability to answer based on this particular plant. Anyway, thank you so much for dropping by, and see you in my next video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.